Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, brothers. Hope you are well worldwide. It's your dude, Mr. International Passport with the legendary Mr. Theo Waff in the building. So, as you know, it is now customary to sing the best anthem on the earth right now. Okay, we would like to welcome you to everything there is to know. This is our life, this is our time, where the passport bros. We would like to welcome you to everything there is to know. This is our life, this is our time, where the passport bros. We would like to welcome you to everything there is to know. This is our life, this is our time, where the passport bros. We would like to welcome you to everything there is to know. This is our life, this is our time. Where the passport pro let's get let's get cracking, brothers. Let's get cracking. Theo here, IP here. Press the one in the live stream chat if you heard that beautiful voice sounding like 10 angels singing at the same time, brothers. Let's get cracking, man.
Are they
Who's here?
are the angels are the angels Lilith? Was that Lilith? Okay. All right. Okay, I understand that. Okay, sure. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. That was good. All right. Thank you for starting. Yep,
Oh wow,
we're good.
shots already, and we're not even 5 minutes in. Damn. Okay.
I had to say that. That was coming anyway. Yeah, that's good.
So who's here? We got over 20 people. Press A1 in the live stream chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Press A1. We got a lot to break down in this passport bro talk between me and Theo Waff. Many things to break down, many things to touch upon, and let's get cracking. So I think we got a good solid turnout, a couple ones in the live stream chat. Let us begin. Okay. So, brothers, welcome. Okay. As you know, I'm international passport, long time passport bro or long time traveler. Been a passport bro before passport bro was a thing. Phil, what about you? Who are you, Phil? Let us know, brother.
Hey there. I'm also a passport bro. I started being a passport bro in 1991. As an adult, I've been a passport bro over 20 years. I lived 16 years in Japan, 1 year Russia, 1 year France, and several months, at least 3 months, 2 to 3 months in several other countries. Speak four languages: French, Russian, English, Japanese. Studied at the Sorbonne, studied at St. Petersburg University, um, and I had my own company in Japan. I was there for quite a long time. I had my own house. Been back in the States for a while, and now I am planning on returning back abroad. So I'm going to make America into a foreign country by 2025 October. I'm going to go back and live abroad again. So I'm now also going through the process of actually leaving the country, but it takes a while. It's not something I can just do. I work in cloud security, and I'm a cloud security architect, and I teach guys how to do that. So part of the Manosphere for quite a while, and again, been teaming up with IP here, and we talk about what passport bros need to do, who passport bros are, what's up with us, and it's been pretty good so far.
Amazing breakdown there, Theo. Looking forward to letting us know, right, Theo, in the future, what country you decided to move to, brother. Okay, so now let's get cracking. So we're gonna break down several things tonight, brothers, and react to several clips and videos, right? But
Mhm.
the first thing that I wanna speak on and Theo will as well is the arrest of the notorious, infamous Johnny Somali. Okay. Now, before I share my screen so I can show you his arrest, okay, and the foolery he's been doing in
Mhm.
Japan, right? I just want to give you a brief intro as to who he is and why he's a very famous face right now. Johnny Somali, American or African immigrant that went to America, has been causing havoc, right, and doing all sorts of nonsense in Japan over the past 5 or 4 months, to the point where it has gone viral many, many times all over the internet and social media platforms. He is a black man. And of course, unfortunately, if one black man does something bad abroad, every black man gets, put in that same umbrella. So he has effectively been ruining our image abroad. So before I go any further, okay, he's been arrested, and I want to show you his arrest and what led to his arrest, okay, and ultimately his downfall, okay. So I'm gonna share my screen, and Theo's gonna chime in on his arrest, okay, how how his arrest and what he's been doing has in some cases negatively impacted the image of passport bros and black men in Japan and Asia. I was reading a comment in one of my videos, and it was a Chinese guy, and he said that he made Chinese news, and his parents were like, "I told you, these black people." You see? So now I'm gonna share my screen, okay, and y'all gonna see this, brothers. Okay, let's get it cracking. So presents, share screen, share screen, share screen. Okay, here it is. There it is, and share. All right, Theo, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Let me make it bigger. Okay, so, and let's play. All right. So I'm going to play here the trespassing incident that he did in Osaka that led to his arrest. Okay, let's get it cracking.
I'm just a cameraman right here. I'm just a cameraman. I don't know what I'm on right now. I am sorry. Oh, he's going in the warehouse, dog. Oh my God, chat, what did I get myself into? Oh, he's mad. He's getting mad, bro. He's getting activated, dog. Chat. He's getting activated, dog. Oh, he's
Hey, oh, Fukushima, Fukushima. Whoa! Fukushima. Hey, Fukushima, Fukushima.
pressing.
Hey, Fukushima, Fukushima. We come to work. We come to work. We come to work.
Later.
Oh my God, who are these guys? Police? Why they unmarked car? How many cops is this? Yo, what is this? Who are these guys? Who are these guys? なんて言ってます？あ、で、OK。OK、かけるよ。はい。おい、誰か。全部差し押さえないの。Don't touch! 携帯で関係する職員。差し押さえ。はい。はい。34分ね。はい。Take it off. これではい。33分。はい。はい。で、押さえ。Wait, can you hold my bag? Hold my bag. This is my bag. 携帯とか、電源だけ。Yo, what are you doing? それがどうしたらいいもんか。完全な電源切ったらダメ。わからん。Can you free some? Can I speak to a lawyer? Can I speak to the embassy? Somebody call the embassy. Embassy. Battery. Call the embassy, guys. Mods. Call the embassy. Call the embassy, mods. バッテリーこれどれや？まだ映ってる状態ですか？キースな。Call the embassy. Call the embassy.
にソマリの名前で迷惑行為などの動画をインターネットで配信している23歳のアメリカ人が大阪中央区の工事現場に覆面姿で侵入したとして逮捕されました。
So,
逮捕されました。
oh,
逮捕されました。Yeah, correct.
oh my goodness. I don't even. Hold on there. Before I even speak on that, Theo, right? So just to break that down for you, brothers, right? What you were seeing in that video was Johnny Somali. And let me share my screen again. Hold on. Here it is. Share screen. So at the beginning of the video here, you can see Johnny Somali. He's masked up, right, as if he's a gangster or he's from, you know, the south side of Chicago, right? And he's all masked up, right? Walking through, right, and trespassing, okay, on a unknown territory in Osaka, Japan. Japanese guy tells him, "Get out of it. What are you doing?" Okay. In many places around the world, you can't do that. Look at him. He's wearing a mask, right? Look at him wearing a mask, right? So this particular instant here led to his arrest, right?
Yeah.
And it's got why has it got to be a brother that's got to do this, man? You know. So he's now arrested. Okay. He's telling, hey, mods, call mods. He's a live streamer, right? Sending the mods to call the embassy. He's living in complete fantasy land.
Yeah.
Theo, what are your thoughts about this?
I've seen, like, I think English and I think Australian, I think other countries, people like, you know, go around nude in Japan, and they have a problem arresting that kind of guy. You get these idiots in Japan, these foreigners who are idiots sometimes, and they think this is a joke. And for the most part, Japan is very nice and pleasant. But if you cross a line, even as a foreigner, even before those 2 years that you're there, you get to see real Japan. You know, they will show you what real Japan is like, and it's horrible. It's very aggressive and very conservative. So he got exactly what was coming to him. I'm surprised there weren't more police that came and swarmed. This is very normal action in Japan. If you do something stupid like this, if he was aggressive, if he had hit someone, I mean, Lord be with him. I mean, who knows? They find him again. So I read again. I was listening to the broadcast in Japanese. They exactly arrested him. He got exactly what he deserved. I am total agreement with this. He'll probably get at least 20 days in lockdown, minimum. That's just before he even sees daylight. Under international law, he gets a telephone call to the embassy, which he'll probably take. But I think the embassy staff will be laughing because they can't do anything. And you know, the Japanese government is in full control. And this happens with American soldiers who do stupid stuff. Usually the soldiers don't do stupid stuff like this. They usually do stupid stuff like getting drunk and then going into a violent brawl with someone, and then they learn, you know, they learn the ways of the Japanese real quick. so yeah, they learn the Japanese can really fight. They really can. So this guy is going to be in a jail cell, probably in solitary for a long time, and he's going to learn.
Wow. So what is his fate here, Theo, right? Will he be sentenced to like 5 years in jail? Or I actually heard that they will keep him in jail until his visa runs out. And once he's past his visa limit, they'll deport him to America and give him a 5-year ban for overstaying your visa. Is that true, bro? What's his fate here, in your opinion?
Something like that. They might just deport him. Let's get rid of him automatically. Just say like, hey, we're done with you. They might, I would say, especially because of the stuff that he said so far, they might just do a permanent ban on him, which would make more sense. But he wasn't violent. That's the thing. Like, he was just doing that. So the Japanese will be somewhat civilized with him. He wasn't going around destroying something. He was just being stupid, insulting and stupid. That's it. So, yeah, he'll get deported without a doubt. But just win. That's all.
Interesting, bro. So we can now, envision what's going to happen to him, right? Which is, deserved. However, we cannot ignore the impact of a black man, right, in a homogenous country that is 98% Japanese, okay, doing crazy, wild things in Japan over the past 5 months, to the point where this is now international news. This is news that's now actually being heard in China. And you know the Chinese, they don't like the brothers like that. They have vitriol towards brothers, okay? And when they see things like this is actually confirming what they feel and what they say about brothers, okay? It's not a white guy doing this. It's not an Asian guy doing this. It's not a Latino guy doing this. It's a brother that's been causing havoc and mayhem, okay? And unfortunately, right, he is being lumped in, okay, within the Passport Bros movement. I've been on Twitter over the past couple of days. I'm seeing people saying Johnny Somali is a Passport Bro. This is what Passport Bros do, blah, 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 blah. So what he's done right is having some serious negative impact on us Passport Bros and normal thinking, righteous brothers who travel with intentions to, experience a country's culture, find a girlfriend, find a wife, be respectful, and be a normal tourist. Okay. So this right here, even though brothers saying IP, IP is not that deep, IP, blah, blah, blah. Image is very important. As you know, the image of black men is terrible. We have the worst image all over the world. So Japan, that's very Japanese, right, are getting the image of black men through their media. This right here, right now, is major national news in Japan. This is the number one trending news right now in Japan. This was reported on the biggest news network in Japan called NHK. This is not a good look for Passport Bros and black men. What's your thoughts about that, Theo?
It's still, of course, I'm not surprised, but I want you to think about it how the Japanese would think about it and put it into context. So if this is like the big thing that's going on in Japan right now, this shows just how peaceful Japan is. Because, I mean, we have people executed daily in Baltimore, Detroit, and Chicago. And, a guy wearing a mask, this wouldn't even make national news in the West because, who cares? We got people dying all over the place. So it just shows how peaceful the country is. Now, when I went to Japan in '97, they were having the trial of, I believe it was 2 African American soldiers in Okinawa who, how do I say that? Forcibly
Force entry upon
force entry. They force entry on a 12-year-old, and yeah, and it was so bad that when the translator translated everything to Japanese, she broke down in tears in the trial, and that was national news. And I was going to say, like, when I was in Japan, that never impacted me. I was 24 at the time, and it never impacted me. They still thought that I was Will Smith, or like something like that, Jay-Z or something like that, right? So they're able to separate like military from the civilian, and they're also able to separate someone who's serious over an idiot. So the Japanese tend to be rather civilized in this way. They're smart, they're practical, and they'll ask questions like, why are you doing this? And they'll focus then on the individual. They won't overgeneralize. So, I mean, I could still, after this happens, I could go to Japan, be there 3 months, and have an amazing Japanese girlfriend and start a relationship. And she would just laugh over this, but she'd be trying to get me because I'm the prize, and she knows it. And she would still think of black men as being the prize in Japan. So that's not going to change. It's just that if you're an idiot, you're an idiot. That's how they'll think of you. They'll just say, okay, you're an idiot. And they're like, oh yeah, we know Europeans who are idiots too. Yeah, we got other people. Regarding China, kind of same thing. So this is like a bad image, but it's nothing like Yasukuni Shrine, where the Japanese the Japanese government goes in and prays for like Japanese war criminals from World War II who helped massacre 27 million Chinese. So that's nothing on that level. So you have people demonstrating in the streets in China over that. The Chinese will just look at this and say, "That's stupid." Yeah, they might say some derogatory things, but if those girls want to date a black guy, they'll go out and date a black guy. Yeah, that's just the way it is. They'll say some bad jokes, which is fine, but they'll just be bad jokes. It'll be nothing like what they'll say about the Japanese, though. They have a particular way of thinking about them. So I just put in perspective. He is an idiot. He's definitely not a passport bro. People say, "Oh, this is passport bro," blah 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 blah. I just laugh because I'm like, dude, this guy isn't even getting a date. That's why he's doing stupid stuff like this. Because if he was having a date in Japan, a Japanese woman would come out and say, "What's wrong with you?" She'd be like, "Itai ni nani o yatteru nano?" That's what she'd do. Be like, "What the are you doing?" Like, stop that. Yamete yo, baka yaro da yore. She's like, "Are you like, stop it, you idiot?" That's how she would say it to him. She's like, just stop it. And she'd just bring him over to the side. So if he was actually dating, this would never happen. So I can't. This guy's a loser. That's it. You're just a foreigner who happens to be a loser, happens to be black. That's how the Japanese will think. He'll get out of there. They'll throw him out of the country. He should have gotten his education before with Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They should have educated him. No, but they didn't. I don't know why. I was all for that education. He's in jail now. He's being educated. Guarantee you, because the Yakuza are there. So they're educating him without a doubt.
So, brother,
he's learning. He's learning a lot right now. He's learning. Yeah, he's learning in a bad way.
Wow. So he's basically in jail with Yakuza, right? They definitely heard about the news as to how this foreigner disrespected Japan and Japanese people and Japanese history. Is it over for Johnny Somali? Will he get out of jail alive, brother?
Yeah, he'll get out. He'll get out alive. He'll be walking with a limp, though. That's for sure. Yeah, he will not be good. I would not want to be him in jail. That's for sure. He's going to get it. The guards are not going to like him. They're going to laugh at him while he gets educated. They'll probably sit there and watch. So it's going to be bad. That's all I can say. It'll be similar to a Turkish jail.
Damn. I hope Johnny knows some martial arts because
he's too weak. No, they're going to take him apart.
Damn, man. This that could have been avoided, man. Now they're going to throw fists at him. Teach him a lesson, slap him up. It shouldn't have got to this kind of situation and scenario, right? And I want to make it very clear, right? We want to make it very clear. Johnny Somali is not a passport bro. No. So so the agenda that I'm seeing on Twitter right now, trying to link Johnny Somali with the passport bros movement, can you stop that, please? Okay? We as passport bros, we work in IT. We're respectful, we travel around the world, experience the cultures, look for beautiful women to marry and date. We are not doing foolish things like Johnny Somali. Johnny Somali is not a passport bro. This is not what passport bros do. Can you confirm that assessment and statement there, Mr. VOF?
Yeah, this guy isn't a passport bro. He's not even really an international traveler. He's an idiot with a passport who's going to get deported. And what he's probably going to do is be an idiot with a passport in another country. He'll be deported. And then probably he'll stop being deported because he won't make it out of the country alive. That's probably what's going to happen to him next, unless he learns. Not a passport bro. That's not how passport bros act. But he's just being stupid. Okay, you got like the English and the Australians. I saw them being hooligans all over the place. And the people just said, hey, they're just English hooligans or Australian hooligans. All right. We deal with hooligans. But they still like English culture. They still want to go to England. They still want Australian food. Australian food is great. It's good taste and low price. I like it a lot. I'll say the same thing for New Zealand. So we're gonna let that one go. Anybody trying to make this more than it is? No, it's not. The U.S. military abroad has by far worse issues. Like the U.S. military, this is the worst they did abroad. They'd be like, yeah, good, yeah, no illegitimate children, good, yeah, yeah, good. Yeah. So they'd be really happy about that. So I just take it with a grain of salt.
Okay, awesome. So I want to now peel apart the Yakuza particular statement you mentioned, brother. Right? How brutal is Japanese jail, and how brutal are the Yakuza in jail? And obviously keep it PG, brother, if they do some brutal things there, bro. Yakuza. I want to know how the Japanese jail system is. You know, I want to know how the Japanese confession system is. I heard that they do forced confessions there, but more about
Yep.
Yakuza and, you know, the jail kind of how what they do in jail, how brutal Japanese jail is compared to the US, etc., etc. You know,
Yeah.
break it down for us, bro.
Yeah, they do forced confessions. I had to do a forced confession myself. So, yeah, I had to do a forced confession. So, in Japan, this is going to be stupid. This is going to sound really stupid to you, but this is the way it is. So, I was in a dormitory in Japan, and the dormitory had bikes. So, all you had to do was go to the parking lot and get a bike, and you can ride because you're part of the dormitory. So, there's something. Okay, a normal Japanese bike is called a charinko. And then there's a bike that I brought with me from America as a Cannondale, right? So if your bike is from America or if it's foreign, you don't have to register it. But a charinko, which is a normal Japanese bike, you have to register it. So my bike wasn't registered to the house, even though I was using it. So I used, remember, my Cannondale had a flat, and I wanted to use the dormitory bike. So I went out as normal, and I decided to go out and do like 20, 30 miles. And I was riding, you know, middle of the night. And there was a forced stop. They were doing checks, and they checked me, and my papers were correct, but my bike was not registered to me. So they forced me to go to the police station and sign a document stating that I was wrong to have that bike, to be riding that bike, and that I was doing something illegal by riding the bike. I was looking at them like they're nuts. But yeah, they do the forced confession. And it's basically in forced confession, just sign the paper. Like, do whatever they want because you do not want to be in jail with them. They will put you in jail over a bike. They'll do it. So just sign the paper, and then they're like, okay, cool, you signed it. Okay, good. And then they let you go, which is kind of funny. They let me go on what they said was an illegal bike. They let me go home with it. That was just ridiculous. They're just stupid. But that's the way it was. So
wow.
Yeah.
So now break down how Yakuza, right? I want to know as to. Hold on, give me 1 second, brother. Give me 1 second. Break down, brother. You know how Yakuza do things, brother. You know in prison, brother.
Let's just say it's not going to be pleasant. It'll be a little. I'm just being polite. Let's just say will not be pleasant. He will have harm. It'll take him quite a while to recover from what they do to him. They'll probably keep him there extra just to make sure any sign of damage is healed up, so nobody can tell on the outside. I would just say it'll be extremely brutal what they do to him.
So the Yakuza really are as fair as the legends say, the stories say. These dudes are ruthless, animals.
Yep.
Jeez.
So on the streets they are. On the streets they're actually very fine. So like, let's say they met him on the streets, they would just walk around him because they're like, you're a disturbance, you're a peasant. We don't want to deal with you. So they just go around, not do anything with him. If he chased them down on the street and did stuff, then they would educate him on the street. If he's in jail and there's no cameras around and no guards around, I can't imagine what they do. It's not gonna. It'll make American jail stuff like amateurs. So they will go after him.
Isn't he protected as an American citizen? Doesn't he have that American privilege that, listen, don't touch me, you can't touch me, an American? No?
They're gonna touch him, all right. Yeah.
But he's American, bro. He's got that American privilege, that American citizenship. You can't touch Americans.
No. He's got no call to a lawyer. He's got no right to a lawyer. He has got no right to a trial. He has got no constitutional rights whatsoever. You have no rights, zero. You're there by, what can I say? You're a guest with no rights. Even if you okay, so I have permanent residency there. I would have some rights as a permanent resident, but if you just have, even if you have a visa, like a working visa, no, you got no rights, zero. So yeah, he's done for. Let's just say it's not going to be good for him.
So let's say, right, a couple Yakuza step to him, right? You're like, hey, Johnny. And Johnny starts screaming, yo, I'm an American, I'm an American, I'm an American, I'm an American. You can't touch me. I'm American, bro. I'm American. Would they step back or would they laugh at him and punch him in the face?
Let's say that he probably won't be able to talk.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So it's all gone. So he'll probably be screaming a lot before he goes into the jail cell, but he'll probably put him into a community environment, and so he probably won't be talking to two people in there. He'll probably talk to 10 to 20. So there'll be a group effect on him. He'll be a piece of meat. I can't imagine what they did to him.
Flipping heck, bruv. This is what I'm saying, man. Some of these dudes gotta calm down, man. They gotta calm down, bruv. You know, all that disrespect, all that talking wild. Now he's got himself in a very sticky situation. Let me read the super chats real quick for you. Hold on, bro. Shout out to Mr. World Citizen for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you, bro, for the support. Play stupid games as they say. Yep. Win stupid prizes. Call the embassy, he cries. Call the embassy. Mards, call the embassy. Mards, call the embassy. What a clown. I really hope this kid gets his. I'm tired of him. His lucky law enforcement were the ones that got to him first. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And brothers, can we please get the likes up, please? Support the movement. Support the channel. Get the likes up, please. That'd be greatly appreciated. Shout out to Mr. The Black Muslim for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you, bro. He should get 3 years and then deported. What an embarrassment. I'm very outraged. Yes, indeed. I definitely agree with you there. What are you saying, though, Theo?
No, he wasn't violent, so they won't do that. But what they will do is they will express their displeasure regarding his comments, regarding his World War II comments. So that's where he's going to get it. And I would never, ever want to be on the wrong side of that reception. So they're going to educate him in jail, without a doubt. So he's being educated now. And then hopefully they'll just deport him. That would be, because he's not violent. That's the thing. He's not violent. So the Japanese are civilized. They're just they need to tap something. They're going to tap them, and then hopefully let's get rid of him. That's all. You know, he didn't hurt any kids. You know, he didn't set anything on fire. He didn't. He wasn't violent. He wasn't a threat to society. So they'll take that in consideration. Let's get rid of him.
Awesome. Shout out to the Black Muslim again for the second super chat tonight. Thank you, bro, for the support for the $5 super chat. Salute, bro. Why they're trying to connect him to passport bros, desperate to take us down. Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of funny. I mean, because they had the naked Westerner going through the streets of Tokyo. They took like over 20 police officers to take him down. And nobody linked that to passport bros. They're just stupid. So I mean, I just laugh at it. I was like, okay, like they're always trying to get black men. That's it. So I just again laugh. But the worst black man situation that I ever had was '97 with the Okinawa situation. That was, I was apologizing to people in Japan over that one. That was horrible.
Damn. So yeah, not disgusting. I'll tell you that, disgusting. Hold on there, bro. Hold on. So before we rest of the super chats, right? Let me share my screen again, right, and show the video again. Share screen. Johnny finally arrested. Okay, so now we touched upon, right? We touched upon what's it called, brother? You know how the Yakuza is like in Japan, right? However, we didn't touch upon. I think we should also touch upon, right, how brutal Japanese prisons are. So I've been reading stuff as to how, you know, the guards are in Japanese prisons. Japanese prisons are very brutal. I'm hearing that guards tell them when to sleep, when to stand, you know, how to position their bodies, you know, where to put their hands, where to put their feet. Don't sit for too long, don't stand for too long. It is complete control in these prisons. Can you confirm that, Theo? And can you add any more as to how brutal Japanese prisons are?
Yeah, it is very brutal. It is not someplace you want to go to. That's why, like, if the Japanese arrest you, you want to do, or you do anything like they go out against you, you want to be 100% in compliance. Because if you just admit what you did and you say you're sorry and you show remorse, they'll be like, cool. And they'll just walk away. That's it. That's all they do. You could do something really bad. You just say, I'm sorry. I didn't know this was bad. I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. They'll be like, cool. But if you resist and then you give them trouble and they put you in jail and then you give them trouble in jail, well, man, you're going to need more than Christ to help you out. You're going to need something strong, man. I don't know what's going to... You're gone. The jailers, the jail officials are going to treat you horribly. They'll treat you worse than a human being. It'll just be bad. That's all I can say. They're brutal. They're physically brutal. They're mentally brutal, psychologically brutal towards you. You do not want this at all. It's totally opposite of what you see in Japan. So, don't want it. Just don't go there at all, ever.
Can you, being American, help you circumvent that type of brutality, or everyone gets it?
Everyone gets it. We heard stories about Roppongi, so I'll give you some of them. So again, like an American GI gets out of line in Roppongi. It doesn't matter what his race is; it's just a GI, right? So he thinks he's a man. He gets violent, blah blah blah, right? So 20, 30 Japanese police officers show up and beat the crap out of him in the streets of Japan. It doesn't matter how much training he has. You go against 20, 30 guys, they're going to take you down. So then they put him in the hole. And they notify the American military. They notify the embassy. Yeah, we've got one of your GIs, and then he's just beating the. Sometimes they're beaten to death. Sometimes they're just really, really, really beaten, and they're kept there for a certain amount of time, and then they go to trial afterwards. And some of them stay in jail. Some of them are released or deported or forced off. They can't be in Japanese land again. Way it is. Stupid GIs. That's how we think of it. So it's not some place you want to be in ever. Just straight out no. The Japanese are entirely opposite with their legal system than compared to how they are in real life. So the whole thing is how you apologize or how you admit what you did. If you just admit what you did and say you're sorry, and you're not violent, they're cool with you. It's like, again, I told you on the streams before, I was teaching, again, this one example, I was teaching in 99, and I was a university teacher. And one of my students walked up the stairs, went right up to me and grabbed my family jewels, right?
Jeez.
And I thought for a second, I'm just going to throw you down the stairs right now. And I said, if you do this, they will all come for you. So you cannot do this. You cannot be violent. And I wasn't. I looked him in the eye and said, yamete? Yamete? So they'd stop. And he stopped. And then he's like, and I told the staff about it, and they said like, oh, well, he just didn't know that grabbing family jewels were not prohibited, were disallowed by the law. I mean, that's kinchi. It's like kinchi. It's like that's prohibited. So he didn't know about that. And I was looking at it, I was like, really? So is he going around grabbing other people's family jewels? I don't think so. But you're not angry about it. You're like, okay, that's it. So that's how the Japanese want you to act. And as long as you're like that, you're like, hey, I'm just not going to be emotional about that. I'm going to keep on going. You're like, cool. Like, just keep on going, right? If you act a fool, that's it. You're done.
Wow. I can't believe what I just heard, man. Flipping heck, bruv. Wow.
Yeah.
Shake my head.
Yeah, but you see how you have to act? So, see, this guy does not act this way. He's acting like a total idiot, right? So he's going totally against the Japanese system. So that's why they're gonna drop the bomb on him. So I'll give you another example. When I was married, we were in the train one time, and my wife and I were sitting there, on the train yapping as normal, and somebody looked at her and started saying really violent things towards her and was threatening towards her. I didn't do anything. She didn't do anything. We just ignored him, and the person walked away. So we got off the train later, and we were talking about it, and she said, "Thank you, Theo, for not beating that person up," because she knew I was going to beat him up. I was ready to go do something to him, and she said, "Thank you. You did the right thing. You were not violent." And again, Japanese woman saying that, she was the reconciler. Like she's this establishes what the standard is. And I was talking to her. I was like, "Why? Because you're my wife. I should beat the crap out of this guy." And he's like, "That's not Japan. That's not the way Japan is." And I was correct to reserve myself. So, in this situation, this guy was violent. In what? No, it's not. I would say he was disrespectful to Japanese customs. He was invading their space. He was doing things he was not supposed to do. If he had gone in there just as without the mask and just said, like, "I'm looking for something," or "Can you help me," or something like that, they would have gotten up and helped him, no problem. They would have been totally kind to him. The fact that he came in with a mask and like the camera, and it's obvious something's going on. Oh yeah, he's gone. The cameraman is very lucky he didn't get arrested. Also, that's they should have gone after him. Also, I don't know why they didn't do it. So, guys, just don't act stupid in Japan. You can do stupid things in Japan, but just don't be like that. Just act like a stupid foreigner. Like, it's like if you do something stupid, you just say like, "Oh, I'm sorry, gomenasai, wakaranakata." So it's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't know," and they just do a bow, and they're like, "Okay, fine, you're a stupid foreigner. Go out. Go get out of here." That's it. It's done. It's done. They don't care. So if he went to jail, he deserved it.
Wow. Brothers, can we get the likes up, please? We have over 100 people, but less than 60 likes. Can we show some support, brothers, by hitting the like button, show some PayPal donations, show some super chats? That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much, brothers. Please support the movement and the channel. Shout out to the brother, the Black Muslim, again. Thank you both for the support for the $5 super chat. They took their time because they want to keep their 98.2% conviction rate. They wanted to let him build a case to the max. Is that true, Theo? Do you agree with that?
I would say they took their time. How do I explain it to you? Okay, so the Japanese are slow to respond to this kind of event because it happens so rarely. So they kind of don't know what to do. So, like, okay, so you're acting stupid in the West. They have like an answer for that, right? Because they use violence. Whereas in Japan, not to do that way. You're socialized not to act in that way. So everybody does this like a monolith. If you act stupid to this degree, they're kind of like, nanya, majide, honta? So they'll be like, really? Somebody do that? What? And they'll be like, no way. It's not muri desu. They'll say, that's impossible. I don't believe it. Shinji raremasen. Kore wa muri da yo. So they would say, like, that's impossible. I don't believe it. This is nothing. And then they would confirm again and again, this really happened? No way. So that's what they're probably doing at the police scene. They're like, we don't believe this actually happened. So then when probably a lot of people came there just to confirm that this kind of stupidity actually happened because they're so surprised. So you got some guys who are the official, who do the official documentation. This guy hasn't done anything official documentation for a long time because nothing like this happens in Japan ever. So he's getting like training that he's probably training somebody else who's coming up there. Other guys are watching it because they want to be, that's actually part of their job because most of the time they're just sitting there doing stupid stuff in Osaka or Tokyo. There's not actually anything going on because there's hardly any crime. Though, if it's like, again, the 98.2% conviction rate, they already know he's guilty. He won't even have a trial. It's not going to happen. So they won't be a part of that metric. They'll just put them in jail. When they get tired of them, they'll deport them. Hopefully, that'll just be it. There'll be no other process than that.
Awesome, bro. Shout out to Mr. J Remo in the building for the £5 super chat. I appreciate you, J Remo. He says here, Theo, the IT sage, so slick. With clouds and codes, he's so quick. His wisdom shines like a rheumatic tick. In the world of tech, he's a classic flick. What's this, bruv? Salute, bruv. Black Shakespeare in the building, brother.
That was pretty good. I like that one. I like that. That was pretty good, Jay. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. That was a pretty good comment. I like that. Was that's good. Thank you, Jay. I'll take that with the heart. I'll remember that one. All right. Yeah, thank
Sugoi.
you. Sounds good. Sugoi ne.
Mecha Sugoi, Jay Remo. Arigatou gozaimasu.
You say Majide. Majide Sugoi.
Majide Sugoi.
Yeah.
Majide Sugoi.
Maji comes from to Osaka Ben. So Majide means really good.
Osaka Ben Sugoi.
Yeah, I know. I can convert my Japanese to Osaka Ben real quick. It's a little rusty. I have to think a little bit before I do it. But oh yeah, when I was in Japan, I could go to Osaka Ben in a second. It was not hard. And so I also spoke Nambu Ben. So not my wife, she spoke Nambu Ben. That's from the north of Japan. So I could just flip to her dialect in a second because in the house she'd speak Nambu Ben all the time. So I was used to it.
Majide, Sugoi. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu for you. Awesome. Now, let's close the Johnny Somali chapter, okay? Now, we need to react to a few more videos. So, Johnny Somali, I hate it had to be you, bro, but he does some stupid stuff there. It is what it is, man. Hope you make it out and you learn from your mistakes, bro, and you don't do it again. Now, I want to now react to very interesting news, right, in regards to Taylor Swift and an American football player, right, called Mr. What's his name? Travis Kelce. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen, right? I'm going to explain what's going on. So over the past couple of days, okay, brothers, the past week or so, okay, this guy, right, Travis Kelce, has been dating a black woman. He dumped the black woman and got with a white girl called Taylor Swift, and everyone knows who Taylor Swift is. I don't listen to her, but I know who she is. Okay, and black woman, Western black woman, ain't happy. Okay, that a white man dumped a black woman to date a white woman. It is such a weird thing that's happening here, and I'm going to explain how I feel about this video. I'm going to share to you, brothers. Right. Let me share my screen right on my Twitter. Okay, give me 1 second. So, where are you, Twitter? There you are, Twitter. Okay, awesome. Okay, let me double check one thing quickly. Cancel. Go on my Twitter page. Yep. Nothing out the ordinary here. Okay. Share screen. Share screen. Share screen. Doko ni Twitter desu ka? Ha! There it is. Found it very much. Okay, now, so as you can see here, right, this is a black woman on this screen that is not happy that a white man dumped a black woman to get with a white woman called Taylor Swift. I'm going to play the video and I'm going to give my reaction to this, okay? And then Theo will break it down on his perspective. Let's go.
If Travis Kelce ends up making Taylor Swift his girlfriend, I am going to be so fucking disappointed. Not surprised, just disappointed. But he already fumbled with Kayla. So, I mean, from here, we always know what ends up happening. He gonna marry a white girl and move on with his life. Still in the culture, but don't ever really want to be a part of it. If Travis Kelce ends up making Taylor Swift his girlfriend, I am going to be so fucking disappointed. Not surprised, just disappointed. But he already fumbled with Kayla. So, I mean, from here, we always know what ends up happening. He gonna marry a white girl and move on with his life. Still in the culture.
So you just heard that, brothers, right? And let me give my 2 cents here. I got 2 points here that I want to address here. So we have a black woman on screen right now upset that a white man, okay, is dating a white woman. And that's simply it. That, a white man left a black woman and is now dating a white woman. I guarantee you, if Travis Kelce, okay, dumped that black woman and got with another black woman, this video wouldn't even exist. Okay. The video we just watched would never exist. But because, right, this white guy that is deemed, okay, in the eyes of some black women to be attractive, and he's dabbled, in dating black women, right? He dumped a black woman and is now dating a white woman called Taylor Swift. Many black women in America and in the West are very angry and up in arms. And I'm going to mention this statement right here, right, brothers, okay? Brothers, you need to know, right, that a lot of black women, Western black women specifically, are not on the side of brothers. And also, many Western black women, okay, they are very attracted to white men. I'll keep it a stack, right? The only reason why we don't see, okay, a lot of white men with black women is because the majority of white men ain't checking for Western black women to keep it a stack. Now, if one day the majority of white men were checking for black women, I guarantee you, right, a lot of black women would leave their black boyfriends and get with a white man. I'll keep it a stack, brothers. So this is why someone like Travis Kelce, who is deemed very attractive, right, to BWs in America and in the West. I'm only referring to Western BWs here. Leave my African, beautiful, feminine sisters alone, okay? So they find him attractive. He's now dated a black woman. He dumped a black woman. Now he's with a white girl. Many black women ain't happy with that. Theo, do you disagree with my point or do you agree with that, brother?
I totally agree with this, and it's because they're only promoting the sisterhood. Remember, if I dated a Brazilian, as a passport bro, if I dated a Brazilian woman and then I got dumped by her, they'd be like, they'd be all over it. And then if that Brazilian woman went out and married a Brazilian man, they'd be like, no, they'd be going crazy. But if something like this happens where a white man dumps a black woman and then goes out with a white woman, which is totally normal, they go crazy because they're seeing their market share decrease. I'm not surprised. It's not something that's unusual to me at all. They should know better. It's a bad position for them. They need to figure that. They need to figure that stuff out. Again, I don't think they should be bitter about it. I think they should understand the situation and accept it for what it is. Do better, or die alone with a dog.
And let me add here, right? It is not a good look, right, for Western BWs to be upset that a white man is dating a white woman. That is perfectly normal. The same way it's perfectly normal for a black man to be dating a black woman. That's also perfectly normal. It's not a good look, right? That's like an Asian woman. That's like a Japanese woman, right? Or South Korean woman angry that a black man is dating a black woman. I'm thinking, yo, that makes no sense. They're both black, So once again, brothers, right? I'm making it very clear. If one day the majority of white men decided to make black women their preference, I guarantee you the majority of black women will date white men in masses, right?
Yes.
I'll keep it a stack. Go on, Theo.
Yeah, that's totally true. Especially in the Western world, they would have that. I think there's various reasons for this. I'll let them talk for it. I have various ideas of why this is, but I think that is correct. That won't happen. I know that from my white side very well. So I know that's not going to go down. It would take a significant movement by ABW to get white men to date them in masses. Again, anybody who's listening to me, I'm biracial. My mom is definitely white, and I know my white side, my maternal side, extremely well, and how they thought about the situation, and how other people thought in society. It's not going to happen. So they just require a major change. They have their ideas of like, okay, all I say to them in this kind of situation is God be with you. I wish you luck. You have some issues apparently to deal with. I hope you do all those issues. I have my solutions, which is to use a passport, and I'm going to go do my thing. Don't be bitter about that. I mean, don't be making TikToks because I'm happy with a Japanese woman or a Brazilian or Ukrainian. I'm happy there. Please be happy for my happiness, and I'll be happy with your happiness. Let's keep it there.
You know, to sum it up, right? Just how crazy, right? Someone's got to be to make a video like this, right? Imagine an Indian woman, right, waking up one day, making a video like this, saying that she's not happy with a black man dating a black woman. That's just how wild this video is. You'll never see a Japanese woman, an Indian woman, an African black woman make a video like this. This is a Western problem. This is a Western problem.
No, this is an ABW problem specifically, because I mean, let's talk about Japan real quick right now. Okay, so in Japan, of course, most of you were there. Most Westerners, once they see Japanese women, that's it. They're with Japanese women. It's like boom, done, right? So the Western women don't complain about this. They recognize the situation. They don't complain. So if a Western man, let's say a British man, decided he didn't want to be with a Japanese woman, and he went out and found a bird, married her, and they went back to London together, no Japanese woman would get up like this. They wouldn't care. They'd just go out and find another Westerner. It'd be done. They know how to hunt one down. Boom. They capture. Because they're confident in who they are. So they would never do this. So what you have is another bitter, I would say, basically, honestly, if I channel my inner Saint Kevin Samuels, you have a bitter loser on here, TikTok, complaining about this situation, and it just shows that she's a loser. Anyone who agrees with her is a loser, and they need to improve themselves. That's it. Start and end of it.
And not only that, brother, right? It also has to be a low self-esteem issue. Because if this woman in question had, self-esteem, okay, and many ABWs, right? This kind of situation of a football player called Travis Kelce dating a white woman, would it even faze them? Okay, I'll keep it a stack, right? Many ABWs, American BWs, they want the validation of white men over black men. That's me keeping it stack. So you as a black man, right? You have an American black woman girlfriend. You tell her every day, "Hey, beautiful, you're beautiful. I love your eyes. I love your lips." She'll just say, "Hey, thanks. Hey, thanks." But wait until a white man says to her, right, "I love your lips. You're very beautiful." She's like, "Oh my God, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. You really? That's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, I'll keep it a stat, brothers, right? ABWs value the validate. They want the validation of white men, and this is why this particular issue is such a big problem, and it's going viral on social media. It's a complete embarrassment, and that's why Western brothers gotta get their passports. This is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with women that truly don't love you, and in my opinion, are tolerating you, brothers. Theo, don't you think that that's not? Do you agree with that, Theo, or do you disagree, brother? They're tolerating brothers.
I do agree with you. I'm thinking about so many different things right now. I'm thinking about high school and other experiences that I've had, and I'm just like, I think what you said about ABW trying to get validation from white guys in dating is somewhat true. But I don't know. I'm not one. I always kept that over to the side, and it's kind of, I thought that was kind of weird. If I was trying to date a white girl, it was because she was in my class, or I knew her family, right? Or I went to church with her. So it was nothing about race. It was somebody I knew. I knew her. I grew up with her. Yeah, of course. I'm normal. I'd probably want to have a relationship and make some kids with her. Right? So very, very basic. It was never about race. It was about how I was treated. That's it. So this is why I'm kind of dismayed by this. If it really is, if it comes down and ABW come out in mass and start saying that it really is validation, I think they need some therapy on that. Really, if ABW told me about that, I'd probably give her a hug real quick and say, I don't know why you think that way. Can you get some help? Because they shouldn't be thinking that way. I never think about, like, again, if I'm with again, that was my Japanese wife, right? I wasn't thinking about validation. I was thinking about a nut. All right, so I don't care about anything else. All right? I had a good marriage with them. Like, how can I get you? So I gotta get some more from you, honey. Right? I'm not thinking about validation. I gotta pay bills, things like that. I mean, food, normal stuff, right? So, again, if that's, I'm with somebody right now. She does happen to be white. It's not about validation at all. It's about daily life and us talking about our feelings and our experiences, and that's it.
Facts.
Yeah.
And to wrap up this segment here before our next reaction, right? This sounds very harsh, but I'm all about telling the truth, right? I genuinely believe, right, and this also applies to brothers in the UK too, and brothers in Canada and every Western country. Western BWs don't love us, they tolerate us, and majority of them want to get with a white man, but that's impossible because the majority of white men are not checking for BWs. They want either a white woman or an East Asian woman. I'll keep it a stack. So we're currently being tolerated. And if you're being tolerated, in my opinion, we are high value men. We're in IT, we're doing great things. No way should a woman tolerate us. We should be loved. And that's why get your passports, get into IT, okay, and stop dating Western women, okay, and only date foreign women who love you for you. Don't stay where you're tolerated, go to where you are loved, okay? And the only brothers who are going to make this passport bro movement a reality are brothers who are booking IT consultations with me, who are my patron, who are serious about IT, who have their passports. That's the only way to break out this matrix. Ain't no way I'm being tolerated. I'm getting my passport to find my queen who loves me for me. Okay, and that white for you. Are you there, Theo? All right, Theo's dropped off. All right, sorry about that, brothers. That's the first time ever that's happened. Keisha, I'm blaming Keisha for that, brothers. That's the first time ever that's happened, right? I'm blaming Keisha for that. And I ain't capping, I ain't playing no games. I'm not joking. Keisha just locked Theo's computer. All right, let me read the super chat to wait for Fui to drop back on. That's weird, bruv. Shout out to Mr. World Citizen 06 for the $2 super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Well, Taylor did say, hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Facts. Yes, indeed. Facts. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Mr. Beautiful Lies. Shout out to you out there, Beautiful Lies, for the $20 support. Thank you very much for your donation. Beautiful Lies, much appreciated, bro. Shout out to Theo Waff, El Guapo. Thank you very much. And shout out to you, Theo. Much appreciated, Theo, man. Where you feel, get back on here, brother. Okay, we need you. It's crazy, bruv. That's the first time ever in this Passport Bro series with me and Theo, right, that his computer's locked. Keisha did that, bruv. This is what I'm saying, brothers. We are dealing with very, sinister people, the powers that be, brothers, that don't want us to awaken the minds of many brothers worldwide. How on earth is Theo's computer just locked out of nowhere? That's weird, cuz. That's weird, bruv. This is what I'm saying, brothers, man. We are this movement is becoming more powerful, and the powers that be want to play games, bruv. Keisha did some sort of intermission, okay, through the internet services, man. I don't know. Theo might be on AOL. Theo, are you on AOL? Are you on that dial-up connection, bro? Beep 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 beep. As if it's the early 2000s. Theo, let me bring in Mr. Theo Wife. He's back right now. Theo, what happened there? Keisha, get to your computer.
Yeah.
Nani?
It was Safari. It was memory bleed. So I was trying to knock out Safari.
Okay, your audio isn't the same as before.
Wait, let me go make sure my audio is correct. Well, give me a second. Of course, maybe it was Keisha. Keisha didn't have that good of skills. No, it was Safari. It was memory bleed. So I was sitting there trying to take out Safari. Was not going down. Oh well.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you have pretty good analysis of what you just said. Yeah, I was listening to you. So yeah.
I fix your audio, please, brother. It's sounding a bit Darth Vader-ish.
Good, yeah.
I'm your father, Anakin.
This is my passport. This
is your truth and your way of life. This is what will break you out of the Matrix, young Anakin.
Yeah, that's pretty true. So sorry, guys. Yeah, I got nicked there. That happened. I was correcting one of them. I'll tell you one of my students also to do something. So go ahead.
Fix the audio.
I'm here. How about this? Is good? How about here? How about here? Is this good? Better?
Say something. Say a sentence.
何ができるだの?
That's okay.
No.
Say something more in English. In English.
英語でやだ. So English bad. It's barbaric language. Still bad?
That's cool. Yep, that's cool, bro. That's cool. All right, so we've ended that segment there. Now I want to react to a very interesting video by the wonderful Mrs. Okay, Candace Owens. Okay, I said this many years ago. I would rather wife up Candace Owens than Nicki Minaj. I don't care if Candace Owens is conservative. I don't care if she's blah blah blah. She says some things. When it comes down to it, if you put Candace Owens and Nicki Minaj in front of me, if you put Candace Owens or Ice Spice in front of me, I'm wifing up Candace Owens. I don't want no liberal, tattooed, big booty, twerking chick in my life. I want covered. I want conservative. And in life, you can't get everything you get, right? So if it's got to be conservative or Megan Thee Stallion chick, give me Candace Owens. So I'm gonna share my screen now, brothers. Okay, and let me get to it right now. It is a very interesting video by Candace Owens called Wholeflation. Okay, Wholeflation. What is that? So Candace Owens explains that wholeflation is the woman. There's so many holes that are women to the point that we can't find a wife in the West. So let me share my screen and let's react to it. Because that is very true, and that's why getting that passport is, life saving. We mean that from the very bottom of our hearts, brothers. Okay, let's get it cracking. Okay, so let me put this on full screen. Okay, also backspace here. Okay, let's go.
Friend of mine, Paul Joseph Watson, has a YouTube channel, and he spoke about this concept of hoflation, ho plus inflation, where when your grandparents, or rather your grandfather was growing up, he had to do less work to find him a high quality woman, a woman that wanted to stay in the home, a woman that dressed conservatively, a woman that wanted to raise the children, a woman who did not want to be out sleeping with tons of men or putting her naked body on the, of course, then non-existent internet, right? Wanting people to see her naked. Now he's saying men have to work harder to find those same women. So they call this concept hoflation. And you are seeing it in this environment as you speak to these women and they talk about how the money that they get is a justification for this lifestyle. And they speak down about men. They have this fundamental hatred of men, or rather a lack of understanding of what a quality man even is and where to find him. Friend of mine, Paul Joseph Watson, has a YouTube channel, and he spoke about this concept of hoflation, ho plus inflation, where when your grandparents, or rather your grandfather was growing up, he had to do less work to find him a high quality woman, a woman that wanted to stay in the home, a woman that dressed conservatively, a woman that wanted to raise the children, a woman who did not want to be out sleeping with tons of men or putting her naked body on the, of course, then non-existent internet, right? Wanting people to see her naked. Now he's saying men have to work harder to find those same women. So they call this concept hoflation. And you are seeing it in this environment as you speak to these women and they talk about how the money that they get is a justification for this lifestyle. And they speak down about men. They have this fundamental hatred of men, or rather a lack of understanding of what a quality man even is and where to find him.
Let me speak on that that first point there. Candace Owens is speaking facts here, okay? Hoflation is a big issue in the West, probably one of the biggest issues we are facing in the West as Western brothers. Yes, indeed, many years ago, 1950s, 1940s, even the 1960s, right? Women there were a lot more pleasant, could cook, can clean, will bathe and moisturize you. Literally, okay? Will scrub your toes, will cook for you. When you come home, take off your jacket, hang it for you, and say, hey, darling, how's your day? Are you hungry? We don't get that kind of woman anymore in the West. That kind of woman is as rare as a Pokemon in real life. And that's a goddamn shame, brothers. Okay? Hoflation is a thing that is affecting every single average man, okay, in the West. Okay? Woman, there's too many holes and there's not enough wife or woman in the West. And that's why you gotta get your passport. Because in other countries, there's too many wife or women in foreign countries and very little holes. And that's how it should be and how it must always be. Okay? So she's mentioned that money has become a huge factor. Women are working now. These woke corporations are throwing six figures at women who don't do nothing. I remember during the pandemic, right? There was one TikTok of a woman working at Facebook. All she did was set meetings on Outlook, and she was being paid six figures. Okay, so women who are earning this money feel like, listen, I'm making all this money. I don't need a man. I don't need to submit. Blah blah blah. But when they get to their 40s, when they get to their 30s, late 20s, and they spent their 20s being a part of that whole inflation pandemic sleeping around, they're wondering, where have all the good men gone? Why are all the men their ages traveling, right? Why are they all being passport bros? Why is there a 35-year-old age mate dating a 21-year-old chick, 22, 20-year-old chick, all right? Hoflation is a pandemic, and the only way to counteract hoflation, brothers, is by getting your passport and becoming a passport bro. What's your thoughts on this, Theo?
Yeah, actually, you said a lot of points. We could talk for a number of hours on this point, and it's definitely true. So what you have there, if all the women become 304s, then that's all you've got. That's all the men have to choose from. So what do? So in this way, it's like the 304s make it that the men must choose them, they must accept them, or they can't get married. And some of the, we were conditioned to simp for these women in this situation. But we learned better than to do that. We learned what the situation was, just how horrible it was, and of course we had the manosphere based upon that. And then with the passport bros, we're able to go abroad and have choices. And abroad we see wonderful women like my wife before, and we're able to, who are not 304s, and we can have wonderful relationships with them, get married and make families. So the whole inflation issue that we have right now is actually very horrible. It is so bad that I don't see how any of these women are going to get married in their 30s. And it's going to continue because you have not only, let's just break it down. So I'm Gen X. A lot of us in Gen X right now are talking about our situation.
Sorry, Theo. Sorry, bro. We can't really hear you that well. Your audio's jacked up.
Okay, so
it's not as it was before.
So here, can you hear me now?
No.
Can you hear me now?
No. How it was before, bro? Before you dropped off.
Let's go to settings, audio. Yeah, you should be able to hear me.
I hear you, but it's not the same as it was before. It's just, I'm hearing like fizzling noise.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Boy, it's maybe Keisha did come here. So, Mike, let's go back to here. How about, is this better?
Much better. Yes, please. So, brother, say the whole point again, please, from the beginning, because we didn't even hear you much. Go on, bro.
Okay. So you have more women who are deciding to have 304 culture. And if they all do it, then Western men have no choice but to choose 304s. And then if they all collectively raise their price, then we have hoflation. Again, we have a situation where men have to pay more money for women that are less desirable to us. And the women think that's just fine. I think I have various feelings about this. And the situation is going, I think the ultimate situation is going to lead to a lot of women who are going to be unable to get married, period. And this is going to be in the West. And for whatever reason they've done this, they've done it. I'm not going to go into it because then they'll think I'm woman-splaining or things like that. I care about the outcomes. And the only outcome that you're going to see are a lot of men going abroad, getting married, and they're going, like, if you even attempt to deal with the whole inflation here, you're having to work so hard. Then you go abroad and it's like easy. It's like a discount store, except all the products are perfect, right? It's like, like Hermes. I like buying Hermes, right? But it'd be like there's some small little flaw with Hermes. You get it at a discount store for like 80% off. That's what it's like going to another country. But she's, for as far as you're concerned, she's perfect. Of course you would take her. Actually, she's better than the real McCoy as far as you're concerned. I think the women need to have counseling. I think they really need to be thinking about what they're doing and whether or not their actions are going to achieve their goals that they want. So what's your goal? Are you going to achieve it? Are you on the right path towards that? That's all that, what's your outcome going to be? That's all that matters. There's so much I could say about this. I mean, really, I could go for hours on this one. I would say, guys who are listening to this, the only solution to this, really, you can't change the women. It's impossible. You can't negotiate with them either. The only solution is to use your passport. That's it.
Facts. So obviously, right, hoflation, right, refers to the marketplace, the data marketplace being saturated with hoes. And hoes are women that sleep around, have high body counts, and we don't want that. We want virgins and low body count women, but preferably virgins, right? So essentially, men are working harder to get a woman that's 20 times worse than the woman back then in the 20th century. So if the marketplace is filled with hoes, right, the only way to counteract hoflation is for brothers right, to to get their passport and flood the dating scenes, right, with your passport book and becoming passport bros. We need more brothers. We need more men to become passport bros to flood the whole dating scene. That's the only way to counteract wholeflation. And we leave the West, we get our passports there, and no one will deal with these women. These women are simply for recreational purposes. That's the only way to counteract wholeflation. Become a passport bro. Men need to flood the dating market by becoming passport bros and not giving these hoes any attention. Ain't that right, Theo?
Yeah, I would say fundamentally, I think that Western women need to think about what they want and whether or not it's attainable. And fundamentally, what outcome do they want to have in the end? I've studied this for quite a number of years because the way they're doing things is very different from you would find abroad, and the rationale that they say for it is ridiculous. They say it because of money and things like that. It's not because of money. That's some crazy crap. But I would just say, like, who are you fundamentally? Like, do you want someone to hold you for the rest of your life? Do you want someone to cherish you for the rest of your life? What I've heard different comments that a lot of Western women don't have no confidence that they will ever be cherished or loved by one man for their entire life. And if that's true, I mean, I don't know if that's true because that's what I heard on a podcast. I don't know if that's true or not. I would say, like, guys, yeah, I would say, figure it out, ladies. While they're figuring out, men, you know what you want, you know what you're about, you know who you are. You've taken the Crimson Capsule. You're the best version of yourself. Get on the airplane, go abroad, stay abroad, marry there, like I did in Japan. Be happy, make a family, and continue on with life. And that's probably one of the best solutions you can have. The Western woman just needs to figure this one out. And some of them said, okay, that they have figured it out. I'm like, are you sure? So, like, sleeping with zillions of guys and then dying alone with a cat, that's the game plan? I mean, are you sure? Are you sure? Because that's not how most female mammals operate. So, I mean, are you a mammal? That's how I really think about it. I hope they figure it out. You know, I got good friends who have destroyed themselves in this manner. It's like, oh well, such is life.
Damn. And do you know what, right? As we wrap up this point, right? I really wish that all ABWs were like Candace Owens. I'll keep it a stack, right?
Mhm.
You know, if all ABWs were like Candace Owens, there'd be no Nicki Minaj's, there'd be no Ice Spices, there'd be no Megan Thee Stallions, there'll be no Sexy Reds. And those groups of BWs, in my opinion, right, have a lot of influence and are actively destroying the mind state of women. Okay, I'll keep it that. Yeah, Candace Owens may say some wild, reckless things. Yeah, she may be very conservative, but I'd rather be with a woman than that. I'd rather be with a woman like Candace Owens than a Nicki Minaj that hardly wears anything, goes out the house half naked, twerks randomly, says the N word, is a degenerate, has a high body count, been ran through. I mean, brothers, we have to start. We got to start thinking right, structurally and logically as brothers, man. Okay, stop saying, "Oh, she supports Trump. She's this. She's a conservative." No, but we live in a world, right, that's very polarized. You're either a right-wing conservative or you're a left-wing liberal. If you are a left-wing liberal, you agree with what Nicki Minaj, Megan Thee Stallion, Ice Spice, Cardi B, right, are pushing. I'll keep it a stack. The only way opposite or opposing that is by being a conservative. And I am a proud conservative. I keep it stack. I am right wing and I am conservative. Wouldn't you agree, Phil?
I would say if more ABW or like Candace Owens, again, I agree with you. If they were like Candace Owens, there would be no Section 8 in America. There would be no destroyed homes. We would have no ghettos. We would actually, there would barely be any welfare for Black people. We would actually have a very strong Black community thriving, and baby deletion with ABW would be almost unheard of.
Yep.
It would be the most stable environment, and us as passport bros it would be ridiculous. Why would we ever leave? We'd have, in fact, you'd see Europeans coming over, you'd see Japanese men coming over to America to wipe up these women. You know, straight out, because I mean they're having problems with their women in Europe, of course. So they'd fly over if the women were like that and marry her. You're not seeing that at all. So if you want stability, I mean, this woman is very strong. She has 3 kids at home. She's wonderful to her husband, but she is a solid wife and mother. That's first. What she does on television is number 2, but that is a strong number 2, which means her number 1 is extremely strong. We don't agree with everything she says, but in terms of a human being and wife and mother, she's spot on. So I can say, like, again, ladies, again, people, this is what we want. This is a good example.
Facts.
Yeah.
I want a foreign Black woman like Candace Owens. I'll keep it stacked, man. I want that mentality. I want a conservative mentality. I want her covered. I want her speaking up for men. I want a foreign Black woman like Candace Owens. So all those that are saying IP and Theo, we don't date sisters, we do date sisters. I mean, I'll speak for myself. Theo can speak for himself, right? But I date sisters. But I need my sisters, right? I need the Black woman to be conservative. I need her to be like Candace Owens. If she ain't like Candace Owens, it ain't happening, bruv. I'm not bringing into my life no liberal Cardi B pro type of my life. That's not happening. But what about you, Theo? Do you still date the sisters, brother?
Yeah, I mean, see, the thing is like, with Hoflation, you can't find women like this because they're so extremely rare. It's almost impossible. Why would we waste our time? But if women were normally like this and 304s were rare, if it were opposite, I wouldn't leave my block. I wouldn't leave my section of my city. I wouldn't need to. I just date locally. I'd find a wonderful woman like this and marry her in seconds. It would be done. I wouldn't even be thinking about race or anything like that. It would be the content of her character. I'd be making babies with her all the time. I'd be thinking about how to name our kids next and how to be happy. That's it. Done. Like normal life. So there's a lot of factors that we have going against us. I mean, that are just ridiculous. That's why we have to use our passport. We use our passport, we go abroad, we use our normal personality, our values, our ethics. When we go abroad, there aren't any ABW. There isn't the color purple. There isn't the legacy of slavery. We can start fresh. And in that environment, we can make strong families. And that's what our whole point is. So use the passport, guys, because you get women like her abroad all the time. Zillions of them.
Facts. Okay, let's wrap up this segment. We got 2 or 3 more to react to, then we shall open up the phone lines. So stop sharing here, IP. I've got a couple of super chats here. Shout out to Mr. Hold on there. Mr. Donovan Morrison for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, Donovan, for the support. This is why I became a passport bro. Often women feel that they can do bad things and not have consequences. They need memory. They're not, that they definitely do need therapy, but West women are actually allowed to do bad things without any consequences. It is being sanctioned by the media and the government without a single doubt. They are being allowed. That's why we are up against very powerful forces. If the government themselves, if the executives themselves are sanctioning this kind of behavior, we need to get out and get our passports, or we need to fight back.
My view on this, again, because I have that white side, right? I understand how white society thinks about this. If white American society said enough's enough and we're done, like, we're not going to tolerate this, it'd be over. The financing would be over. They would just say no more welfare. Done. It's only because they tolerate it that the cash flow continues. That's it. So they have to have a continual scapegoat that we are the evil person in order to justify the cash flow going to them. So another reason why the passport bros are so dangerous is because we are able to eliminate the ABW and the entire narrative. So we go abroad, we make families where everything's happy, it's fine, there's no welfare, there's no Section 8 for us, we're thriving, everything is good. Then, of course, that environment, that narrative disproves what the ABW is saying, straight out. But even at that time, are white liberals going to put their foot down? And at this point, the answer to this is no. That's the problem. They have to change.
Facts. Thank you, Theo. Shout out to Mr. John G. Thank you, bro, for the $50 super chat. Thank you, bro. It's been a long, hard week for me, and this support is definitely appreciated, brother. Thank you so very much, man. Amazing. Thank you. Salute to you. Thanks, IP and Theo, for your contribution. I was feeling depressed after returning from Thailand and trying to work with Western women. I sought therapy, and the doctor suggested I go back to Thailand, Southeast Asia, or South America. Absolutely, brother, man. I'm telling you, the West here destroys men. Go on, bro.
John, why did you even try to deal with Western women after going abroad? Like, why? It doesn't make sense. That's like me being in Europe driving a new BMW, and I come back here, I try to deal with a broken Ford with 250,000 miles on it. Plus, it's twice the price as the BMW. Like, what are you doing, bro? I know who you are, John. You were my students. So I'm like, bro, you just don't. Yeah, you go back. You see, that's why I don't even deal with the women here. If I want to think positively or think constructively, I just think about when I'm going to leave the country again. That's it. Yeah, you're not going to be able to work with them. It's impossible in the country. Don't have a hope strategy. It is impossible. Become the best version of yourself. Get that get your certs in, get that remote job, get your money up, get to $150,000 a year, and then get out. Done.
Facts. And I told you, brothers, right? There are only 4 phrases you should only say to Western women. Okay? Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night. And goodbye. 5 phrases. Nothing less, nothing more. Okay? That's all you gotta do. The only time I speak to Western women on a full-on conversation is at my workplace. Okay? If I'm at the cashier, right? If I'm at the if I walk past one, if I have small talk with one, I keep it short and quick. Leave me alone. We have nothing in common. I don't want nothing to do with you. I got my beautiful foreign babes abroad that are waiting for me, and that's been verified by me traveling to Morocco, Germany, Japan, okay, and many other countries where women were loving me and checking for me. I know I have options. Okay, I'm in IT, Pio's in IT, we're intelligent brothers. We have options. And women abroad, they value a hardworking, intelligent man. Go to Japan, you tell her, Shigoto wa IT desu. Sugoi, IT desu ka? Hi. Brothers, it's a cheat code when you get that passport, man. When you get your IT certs, when you learn Python in my Python classes. Me and Theo, right? We are giving you the launch pad, right? The solutions to this crazy world we're living in the West right now. Isn't that right, Theo?
Yeah, it's true. I would say for myself also, I just don't engage with them. I just don't talk. I do make small talk if I'm out there, but that's about it. I always make sure that if I'm talking to a Western woman, it's in a well lit area with a camera and witnesses, and I make sure somebody's able to back up a narrative so they can't say something because they can easily weaponize victimization against the Western man. So you need to get out of that situation. Avoid it at all costs. And they will figure it out later on. As for you, where you are now, guys, use your passport to get out. That's the only solution. I saw a guapo He got super chat. So
Okay.
I want to
Yes.
make sure that gets out there because Guapo's
Yeah,
big.
yeah.
It's important.
Yeah, I read it. You were off the
Okay.
the stream.
Oh, you're off there.
But-
Oh, sorry.
yeah, you were off,
Sorry
but I
about
read it.
Okay.
Shout out to Mr. Afron Weeks for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you, Afron Weeks, for the support. Shout out to you two powerhouses, loving your classes, brothers, and what you're doing for our community of men. We are done putting up with Western women. He's a good student already. I could feel his ambition in the classes. Afron Weeks, he's going to be one of my best. I can definitely tell. So salute to you, Afron Weeks. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, he's a very good guy. I think, and this one for me, Class 5. Class 5 is interesting. It got some powerhouses in there. Got some guys who are very good. I think it'll be a little bit more time before they gel. It's gonna be a great class. So, my goal with Class 5, this again for the next year, is to get at least 20 CISSPs, 10 CCSPs, 10 ISSAPs, and then at least 75 new certified AWS engineers. And we just had our second AWS certified solutions architect professional get his certification in the group. So that's the highest level with AWS. We're going to keep on rolling out more of these guys, more AWS and Microsoft certified security professionals. So it's just a matter of time before we get guys who are ready to leave the country, and then we make a network so that they can do so. So keep it going, guys.
Keep it going, man. Keep it going, man. Keep it going, brothers, man. Especially with crypto popping off next year, lives will be changed. Lives will be changed, brothers. And also press a write in the live stream chat what cryptos you're into. So let's react to a few more clips, and then we shall open up the phone lines. Okay. Now I want to react to another one. Right, it's a very interesting one. Okay, and of course it's a delusional Western woman that believes that women are superior to men. And I'm going to embarrass her and her outrageous thoughts, okay? Give me 1 second, Theo, because it made me really, really annoyed. Okay, where is it? Where is it? I think it's this one over here. Okay, here it is. So, can y'all see my screen? Okay, so you should, now let's play. So this woman here is a woman, a Western woman, of course, that believes that, you know, women are superior to men, which is hilarious and laughable. Let's get it cracking.
Give men one dating advice.
Men don't have rights. I think that men are just inferior to women.
How so?
I think no matter what, a powerful man will simp to a woman. Therefore, a woman in every circumstance in life is superior to a man. I think woman is superior gender in general.
So what's your type?
I love tattoos. Tall, strong, dominant.
So then wouldn't that be superior to you?
Never. Any man, if you make more money than me, if you're stronger than me and you're taller than me, you'll still simp for me every single time. So I'm still superior. The most wealthy man in the world, I'll still make you simp for me.
Give men one dating advice.
Men don't have rights. I think that men are just inferior to women.
How so?
I think no matter what, a powerful man will simp to a woman. Therefore, a woman in every circumstance in life is superior to a man. I think woman is just a superior gender in general.
So what's your type?
I love tattoos. Tall, strong, dominant.
So then wouldn't that be superior to you?
Never. Any man, if you make more money than me, if you're stronger than me and you're taller than me, you'll still simp for me every single time. So I'm still superior. The most wealthy man in the world, I'll simp for me.
Give
Wow.
men.
So let me give my 2 cents here, because this just shows how delusional and bimbo-ish a lot of Western women are, right? Under no circumstance or any time in the history of the world are women, right, superior to men. Women will never, ever be superior to men. When I look at the world around me, the laptop I'm using right now, the chair I'm sitting on, all right, when I see the Teslas that drive past, right, every day on the road, the BMWs, the Mercedes, when I look at the houses that I walk past every day and when I go for my runs, okay, when I look at, you know, the video games that are being built, the PlayStation 5s, right, when I look at Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Oracle, all those things were created by men, okay? And without those things, life wouldn't function so smoothly. Okay? Ain't no way women are superior to men. Men build, women just come in and sit down. Okay? Women have not built any sort of Instagram, any sort of Teslas, any sort of great technological advancements, right, in the last 50 years like men have done. I would argue that Instagram, Facebook, etc., have made women's lives very easier. Okay? And guess what? Men created those apps. Who created OF? Okay? Who created OF? It's a man. And that's a billion-dollar industry that unfortunately women are becoming millionaires off of, selling their box, doing promiscuous stuff on there. A man created that platform. Okay? So that's not true. Number two, this woman says here she wants a tall, strong, dominant, muscly man. That by definition is a superior physical makeup than you, woman. So she's contradicting herself and she has no idea what she's talking about. Break it down for us, Phil. Do you agree or do you disagree?
I would say, yeah, I agree with you. I would say, guys who are listening to this is another reason why you cannot simp for them. And what we thought we were doing when we were growing up is that we were supporting women. Of course, they were being battered or blah, 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 blah. We thought it was the right thing to do. And the women turned around and interpreted this as weakness, which was not. We were actually thought we were being helpful. We thought in our strength, we thought we were being helpful. And this got totally messed up. So now you have to withdraw it. You have to withdraw it so bad that you have to actually do ignore and abandonment and non-protection. That's really the degree. That's the only way they're going to wake up, if they wake up at all. Guys, if a woman says that she's superior to you, just keep on walking. She's gonna 35 is going to happen. The wall is going to happen, and then 40 is going to happen, which is a disaster for women. If a woman doesn't have a family when she's 40, oh my goodness, it's like, oh. Anyway, I'm not gonna go into that. The women really need to think about where they're going. So a young woman like that, she's 25, 26, she can get away with saying something like that right now because half the planet wants to shag her, right? But later on, that's not going to be permissible. And, just wait. That's why I say women who say that, I just sit back and say, just wait. Because they're 30, they start making TikToks crying. 35, weeping. 40, they're silent. Because they know it's over. They know it's done. They have I can date a younger man. Okay, yeah, you're giving a younger man practice. That's all you're doing. So, okay, go ahead. I don't even complain about it. I'm like, okay, go high five, bro. Get some practice. Good, because you're gonna use that practice, know what you're doing, and then go out and date a 25-year-old later on. So okay, that's fine. Again, when they say this, I like what you said about the creator of OnlyFans. A lot of these women are becoming millionaires. I'm like, yeah, but he's becoming like a billionaire because he's like a super pimp, right? So I'm like, okay, yeah, he got you. Yeah, then you think you're empowered, but you're working for a man. He gets 20% of everything. Okay, it's cool. Like again, I'm just quiet about it. Just let him talk. I'm fine. As you go on in time, they become more frail, more mentally unstable, blah 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 blah. I was like, it's fine. I have no problem with it.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
I don't care. If she's talking like that, she's gonna die alone, without a doubt. That's the road right straight to die alone. Her late 30s are gonna be horrible. I'm gonna love it. I hope she goes on YouTube and documents her late 30s. I'll be laughing. It's really good.
Facts, bro. These young women, right, in the early 20s, mid 20s, they genuinely believe that they will be on top of the world and they will never grow old and their looks will never fade. Okay, every day a woman turns 21. Okay, every day these women, right, don't know what's coming to them in the future. It's why I said in my one of my previous streams, right, notice how, okay, young women, even Hollywood too, even though the liberal garbage, okay, they always gush over old men like Denzel Washington, Idris Elba, Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Michael B. Jordan. Okay, guys who are mid 30s to early 40s, in the 50s. Okay. However, notice how no one's gushing over these old Hollywood chicks. Show me a guy that's 25 that's gushing over Helen Mirren, you know, or Meryl Streep, or someone like Jennifer Lopez. Come on, man. That should show you that men age better. Okay, young women want older men, and no one wants older women. There you go.
Yeah, it's all about fertility. And again, when women start talking about how like the older women are better, I'm like, nobody's putting you in Playboy past 35. Don't even think that. And they might get a few exceptions here or there, but that's the exception. Most of these women are between 20 and 22. Okay, like because that's what men want. Like again, when they talk, I just like go ahead say it because I'm 50 years old. As you go on through time, you just see these women get older and older, lonely, despondent, sad. I have a good friend right now. I'm watching it happen out with her. She's in her 40s, and again, I just see what's going to her. She's totally going through self-destruction. I know her path. I'm like, okay, I'm just sitting back and just being quiet about it because if she needs help, she'll probably reach out, but I'm not gonna help her because I know the path that she chose.
No
She chose
guy,
to be strong. No. She's strong and independent.
no guy her age, Theo. That's 40. Let's say she's 48. Is gonna date her. A 48-year-old guy is going for late 20s, mid 20s. It's over for these chicks. That's what you get for letting the media rule your lives and not having any sort of logical thought. I don't feel sorry for them, bro.
No,
I really
I don't feel sorry. I don't feel sorry for them either. And if you look at feminism, feminism permitted men to basically use women. So you got the OnlyFans creator, like that's one person. The women voluntarily sign up. He doesn't recruit. He just sits back. They do it themselves. Hugh Hefner is another example. Feminists hate him, and they talk about how he's womanizing, stuff like that. And I sit back and say, you women show up at campaigns, you mail him nudes. He does all he has to do is put an email up there. That's all he had to do, or put an address. You women voluntarily submitted everything, then voluntarily went and made the media. You are under no compulsion, and then volunteered to satisfy this man. This was easy for him. He only had to do is sit back and just enjoy it and say thank you to feminism. Without feminism, like Playboy would never have been possible. Same thing for OnlyFans. So I kind of just laugh at it. Like, oh, is this what you wanted? Are you sure? They call it empowerment. I'm like, huh, really? Okay. Sure.
Listen, right. I know it's tough right now, brothers. Okay, while you're in your building stage, while you're studying, while you may be lonely, you may be like, okay, where the HOES is at. I'm telling you right now, men are going to win this race and marathon. Wait until you're well seasoned, when you get your passport, when you have an economic base, and you strategize your life and your career very well. You are going to win this race. No one is checking for old women. Women have a very limited, attractive span, right? Men are, attractive in the eyes of women, even until 60s, early 60s. We are going to win this race and marathon. Stay strong. All right. Next video.
Yeah.
Go on, bro. You want to say something?
No, I would say a competent man globally is valued, and a competent black man globally is especially valued. So if you're competent and you're family oriented and you can actually raise a family and you can have 6 figures and you're going on abroad, you are in the 1%, straight out. So guys, do it. Go out, use your options, go out, like, enjoy yourself, make a family abroad. There's no reason to even date or even consider these options in the West. No, the cats can choose them. The losers of actually, to tell you the truth, the losers of the system are going to be like the factory workers or the pookies. That the guys who didn't achieve anything, they're not going to be able to get married, which is definitely true, and they're not going to be able to reproduce. Well, Pookie will always reproduce, but most of the guys who are kind of solid, but they're making like $60,000 and below, they're not going to make it. But if you do get 6 figures, you do get like 80,000 above, you're exercising your passport and you're going abroad, you're fine. So go for that, guys.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. So we got 3 more to react to, Theo, and we'll open up the phone lines. All right. So share screen, present, share screen, and here's an interesting one over here. Okay. Let's go.
I may end up 35 and single. So what?
Seeing my grandparents holding my cousin's kids and how happy they look, and I'm not going to get to see that, witness that, experience that.
Is it because you're being an independent woman? Here's the thing too, right, is that this is the issue with modern women. They say that they want to be independent and they keep that same energy, right, for a long time throughout their entire 20s, early 20s and later 20s. So now when it comes down to them being much older, they actually want to start a family. The older a woman gets, the less fertile she is. What happens is that these women go through their entire 20s and 30s talking about having high body counts or it's okay to be independent and be alone. And when it comes down to having a family, it's going to be much, much more difficult for that older woman to find a man who is ready for a family or want to make a family at her age. A lot of men are going to go for women who are much younger, who actually have the energy to be able to raise a family rather than an older woman, at least for the men who actually have selection.
I may end up 35 and
That's facts. That's facts, bruv. That's absolute facts, man. What's your thoughts about that, Theo?
The older men have options if they use a passport. Because the problem is that while the Western woman, she still has too high of a body count. So, like again, most Western women, by the time they're 25 years old, have a higher body count than I do. But it's not only higher I do; it's in multiples of what mine is. So, the guys who are older, say a guy who's 40, if he has some sort of criteria, he's going to say, "Hey, look, even at you at 25 years old, you don't fit my criteria that where I want in a wife." So he should be a passport bro. He should just go out of the country and get his wife out there. Right. So these women don't really understand to what degree they're destroying their options. But who cares? I mean, if they're not going to listen, the men should be talking to each other and understand what their options are, go abroad, and then continue on with your life like I am. And then the women can figure it out in 50 years. When they're with a nursing home, maybe they can figure it out. They'll go, okay, maybe what they did in life wasn't correct.
Facts, absolute facts, man. Once again, right, Western women are being played for fools, right? And this is why I'm of the opinion too much freedom in many cases is a bad thing, okay? West women are so free, they've lost their direction, right? The media tells them, don't listen to men. Men can't control you. You set your own path, your own life. But I'm in that personal opinion. Every woman needs a man in their life for guidance and direction. Women are emotional beings, okay? They need a logical man, and all men are logical by nature to help guide them on the path. So for example, Theo, right? There's a 21, 22-year-old woman, right, who's lost in her life, okay? She doesn't know what to do. A man will come in the picture and tell her, hey, you're in your prime years, start having a family, okay? Start doing this, start behaving like this, start being more conservative, start thinking like this, have some children, okay? Be feminine, be submissive. However, the media will tell her, okay, you don't need a man, sleep around, be independent, right? Having a high body count is empowering, which is nonsense, okay? So I feel sorry for them. I really do. Okay, but I can't feel sorry for them when I'm abroad on the beach sipping pineapple, right, with apple juice mixed up, having a slim, thick foreign chick next to me, and we're talking about how many kids we're gonna have.
I would say it's about discipline. So again, like if I'm in Thailand, everybody knows here on the stream that I'm crazy about Thai women. If I'm in Thailand, I'm disciplined. I'm not running through women. If I were there right now, I would be with one. That's it. If I were in Colombia, same thing. Brazil, same thing. Ukraine, same thing. It's about discipline. Even if I have a lot of money, I'm a superior social status than the woman, it doesn't matter. I have discipline because I have family structure inside my head. If you have feminism, which is fine, feminism doesn't remove a woman's requirement to have self-discipline. And what you're seeing right now is women without discipline thinking it's empowering, but actually it's belittling, and it makes them less powerful and more like children. So they really need to get that discipline on. But it's not going to happen, not anytime soon. The only time that they start having any kind of discipline is when the eggs are fried and they recognize their opportunity for actually starting a family is gone. But by that time, again, men don't want to wipe them up. Again, I'm 50 years old. If a 35-year-old Western woman wanted to saw the light and say, "Hey, Theo, let's make a family," I would tell her, "No, you're for the streets. It's not going to happen. You've been out there for 20 years. You can get married, or we're done." I got a lot of men my age think the same way, where especially my financial situation, it's not going to wipe them up. So the women have got to figure out what they're going to do. They have to get that discipline earlier, like when they're 18, like I did. When I was 18 years old, I was disciplined. I didn't go out and do a bunch of debauchery. I went to the library and studied. That's what I did.
And look at you now, Theo. Successful, high value, at the top of your game. Discipline is very important. You got
I got the library. I got a library with me inside my house. That's right.
Okay. And you got an incredible Trump shirt as well.
Oh, I'm not letting you guys see what's below here. It is a Trump shirt. I was trying to hide it. I was like, I can't hide it. That's all. I need to do laundry. So if I'm wearing Trump shirts, it's because I haven't done laundry yet. That's usually the last shirt I have before I do laundry.
All right. So we have 2 more clips to react to. Okay. So let's do the next one. Present, share screen. This is an interesting one. So here it is. I'll share here. Okay. Let's watch.
I don't want to be rude or mean or anything, but I was at a dinner with this woman who was so obese. She was telling me how she couldn't find any swimwear for girls who are curvy. I thought to myself, oh my God, like, you're refusing to live in reality. You're delusional. I am curvy. You are obese. And she kept referring to herself as curvy. Women, they take no accountability and they don't live in reality. She's delusional. I don't want to be rude or mean or anything, but I was at a dinner with this woman who was so obese. She was telling me how she couldn't find any swimwear for girls who are curvy. I thought to myself, oh my God, like, you're refusing to live in reality. You're delusional. I am curvy. You are obese. And she kept referring to herself as curvy. Women, they take no accountability and they don't live in reality. She's delusional. I don't want to be.
Now, let me give my 2 cents here, bro. Okay. I'll keep it a stack. I have never seen a good-looking obese woman, and I personally believe that obese women are just I'll leave it as that. I don't want to go too hard. I don't want to go too in on them. Okay. Lack of accountability. This, all bodies are great. This idea that the West and the media pushes that, fat women are beautiful, fat women are this, fat women are not beautiful. There is no such thing as a fat woman. The standard of beauty has always been and will always be a slim woman. Okay? Women who are slim are just better looking. There's no logic behind it. It is what it is. Okay. Why is that? The bed won't sink down. Okay. Your pelvis won't be squashed. Won't be squashed if she's on top of you, and it just looks pleasing to the eye. Okay. So the reason why a woman can actually wake up one day and say, "I can't find any swimsuits." Okay. Okay. Why don't you lose weight? Why don't you get in the gym? Why don't you eat right? You know why she won't do that, Theo? The media tells her, girl, you're perfect how you are. Don't let anyone tell you to lose weight. You're perfect. Not knowing that obesity kills, and obesity just won't attract the right man for her. And definitely, she won't find any clothes to fit her big ass stomach. Break it down for us, Theo. What's your thoughts on that, bro?
First off, guys got to stop simping and being thirsty, because if these heifers are able to smash, it validates them. So that's part of the problem. So if guys, I mean, I don't care how thirsty I am. If she doesn't meet a certain criteria, I'm not going to smash ever. So why would I even consider it? But you got guys who are thirsty, and that's part of the problem. So you got guys who are thirsty, simping, giving them money, and smashing. They think that they're worthy of a 10, right? If the guys had discipline, respect for themselves, that would never happen. All I say is the women who think that way, they should just go to Japan, Ukraine, and then find out what life is like. See how that goes. That's it. Let's see, because it should be universal, right? So the guy should be going for, but in those environments, you'd probably be talking about how, they're intimidated. Men are intimidated by her. I'm like, what? The men are engaged with these beautiful women. They don't have time for you. It's just the way it is. So thirsty men can advocate or produce really horrible women. So the guys got to stop being thirsty. That's the best way for me to describe it.
Facts, bro. And I also want to add here, right? I'm seeing too much brothers with these obese wells, okay? To the point where it's now a certified stereotype. All right? Can you dusty brothers stop dating these fat Beckys? It's not a good look. You might as well date a fat sister, because dating a fat woman that's outside your race just isn't a good look, brothers. It isn't a good look. And that's the reason why a lot of these women get gassed up and they always go for brothers, right? In the past, right? I'm not sure if you've experienced this, brothers, right? But you're going to see a lot of, Beckys that are obese, right? Only go for brothers. They even approach brothers thinking that the average brother wants them. Why is that? Because some thirsty brothers are giving them play, and they feel like all brothers want these big girls. The white man doesn't want her, so we don't want her too. It's too much, bruv. Go on, Phil.
Well, a lot of brothers have really low standards, so they'll almost hit anything. They'll almost do necrophilia. So, I mean, really, it's almost that bad. So it's kind of, again, I see this again. I'm biracial on both sides, right? So I see the women thinking that they can keep on dating white guys, but if they let their weight go, they can always get a black guy, because the black guy is going to be thirsty for them. I've seen this happen. I'm looking at it. I'm like, really? That's what you think of me? That's what you think? I'm only for you if you're a leftover? Really? That's how you think? Passport. So I would say, like, guys, if you're listening, especially guys who have self-confidence or need to get self-confidence, get that self-confidence. Use your passport and become the best version of yourself. Never stoop down to this level. Unless you're like a guapo, you have a hard spot for a little while, but that's another thing. But never, don't stoop down. And you go abroad, and then the leftover men, the men who can't make it, they could deal with these heifers, right? And then if you could look back, and they're talking about the heifers, and these pookies are talking about each other dating, and you're kind of like, oh yeah, that's a trailer park. Yeah, that's Trailer Park America. That's the people are dating. That's fine. I made myself into the best version of myself, and I got a prime woman abroad. That's it. I'm done. That's the way it should be, guys. So again, don't stoop down to this level, guys. You deserve better. Go for something better with that passport.
Facts, facts. So that is the end of this segment. Shout out to Theo for his insight. Appreciate you, brother. I got a super chat here. Shout out to Mr. Jane Outlander Archive for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Women's lives wouldn't be easy if it wasn't for men simping. Men made them, I agree. Without us, they wouldn't be able to live life on recruit difficulty. That's facts, bro. That's facts.
I remember when I was simping before, and I was giving money away to women, and I was supporting them. I wasn't getting anything from them, but I would just help them out. And then women would go around saying that they deserved it, like their standard of living was what they deserved. And I was taking the Crimson Capsule, and then I stopped cold turkey. I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm done. And what happened? You see these women's lives implode, and then they were barely able to take care of themselves. And some of them, they got a little bit more money later on. They made it. They made it past $60,000, but they never made it to six figures. And as they got older and older, they don't have a financial plan. They don't have retirement. They don't have anything. They don't even own possessions. They don't own a house. And they're kind of just going from one situationship to another, like floundering. And I'm like, okay, that's you. You do you. You chose that way. That's what you want to do. So guys, don't financially support the women. She needs $50 to pay, to carry her over to pay her electric bill. Tough. She can figure out that on her own. She needs a little bit of money for gas. Tough. She can walk. All right? It's not for you to deal with. Don't even deal with her.
Facts, absolutely facts. So let's open up the phone lines, and brothers, make sure you definitely join the Patreon. Okay, you can see in the live stream link. Let's get the phone lines open, and let's speak about the topics we discussed today, particularly the Candace Owens hoflation, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce issue, and of course Johnny Somali, who's currently getting stepped on by Yakuzas in a jail in Tokyo right now. Okay.
That'd be good if he was only getting stepped on. He'd be lucky. Yeah, that's good.
Where's the most toughest jail in Tokyo, bro?
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know it that well. Let's just say, because you're not trying to go to jail. I mean, it's all pretty much the same. So, yeah, you still want to go in there.
Okay, all right, brothers, call in. My phone lines are open. Great show to start the week. It is Tuesday morning over here, 4:34 a.m. It's 4:34 a.m., brothers, man. See how late that is, brothers. See how late that is. All right, so give me one second. Chotomatical aside. Hayai.
Materio.
Yeah, so chotomate.
Matere.
Shout out to Mr. Shinobu, okay, for the PayPal donation. Okay. He says here, Western women have collectively suppressed the market. Passport Bros is the first effect tool to fight back against this. They have no control. They are effectively taken out of the negotiation, and that is why they have a visceral anger response against this. That's facts, bro. What's your thoughts about that comment, Theo?
That's entirely true. And again, Passport Bros who are listening to this, one of the things I always say to you guys is that you need to get married and you need to have children, and then you need to show photos online of you being happy with your children. That message will go a lot further than the angry feminist who's just angry about everything, who's destructive and has no conclusion. If you guys keep on showing happiness with family, that is, you will actually help build a new family structure. So please do that. That's something I'm going for. So eventually I'll figure it out. I'll get the instruction manual out again. I'll figure out how to make a kid. Apparently I forgot. And I'll reproduce, and I'll go online and I'll show people my children. I'll show people how happy I am. And when that happens, it could be a wonderful day. So do that. Again, I shout out like El Guapo. He shows his child. He shows images of his child. I mean, it's killer. It's what we need to see, right? So do it. It's the best thing for us.
Awesome. So let me check the panel right now. Give me a second. I see JAM. Turn your camera off, brother. You're confirmed. Shout out to JAM. Let me bring you in. What's going on, JM? How you doing, brother?
I was going to get on you again about the PayPal thing. And then you just read it before you put me on. Maybe it's coincidence. Maybe you're doing this on purpose. Maybe you know that I'll join. And that's PayPal donation.
No, yeah. So I saw it. So I didn't read it because I know you're going to join. Now you're going to chime in on that, so you can actually speak on it further. So I know you're going to be a regular caller. So I can't leave it there in the background. I saw it when it came in half an hour ago. But if you want me to read it straight away, bro, it's up to you. But I thought it'd be good to
actually, I'll be honest with you. I prefer it that way. So I was making a joke. I didn't think you were actually serious about that, but okay. All right. It's funny hearing you guys talk about this, because this is conversations I've talked about with a confidant of mine for years, and we had these exact same conversations. And so hearing you guys talk about this and coming to similar conclusions that I've had for years is just astounding. There's a few things. I mean, like Theo said, I could talk about this for hours, but obviously, I don't want to do that because I tend to drag. So there's a few points I want to touch on. Right, there was one point I want to talk about with with a family member of mine, and it just talked about the sisters, right, the ABWs. Right, she said that I like white girls, right, because that's the girls I would date here in America. At least that's the ones that they would see. I actually was with a lot of Latin girls and a lot of Indian girls. I didn't like the Indians, but those are the women I was with. And she said, essentially, I don't like ABWs. And I told her, no, I do, but most ABWs don't fit my standard, right? And I just talked about one thing in particular, which is something you touched on, which is just weight, right? 80% of ABWs are overweight. I work out 2 hours a day. I run an hour in the morning and I lift an hour sometime when I get free between work because I work remotely, right? So I literally work out 2 hours a day to keep my physique. If you look at me, you know that I work out. It's pretty apparent. Why would I stoop myself to date someone who's overweight? So that alone takes out 80% of the population of ABWs that I had. And you talked about wholeflation. I wasn't sure if I could say that, but I've heard you guys say that several times. So I think that's okay, right? Well, I want to talk about another type of inflation, and that's the inflation within the ABW community. Because since 80% of the women are overweight, the women that are not overweight, they act hotter than they are. So if you have an ABW that's a 7 and she's not overweight, right, she will act as if she's a 9 or a 10. That's what she'll act like. And so it's like, okay, I can get this white girl who's an 8, and she knows she's an 8. Like, she'll obviously, there's, the harder the girl is, the crazier she is, but she knows she's an 8. She doesn't know she doesn't think herself as a 10 or supermodel. She knows she's an 8. She knows that she can be replaced, so she's going to act accordingly. But you have an ABW who's like a 6.5, and she'll act like a 9, because if you're looking for just ABWs, she might as well be a 9, because that's how rare it is to find a woman that's not overweight, right? Doesn't have any tattoos like that, and is just above average in looks in the ABW community. I mean, even if you just talk about the whole overweight thing, right? 80% of them being overweight, 80% of that number is obese. So it's not even like they're a little overweight, they're sloppily overweight. That's just one factor. We know there's a lot of other factors, attitude, kids, etc. Just talking about one factor, and that disqualifies the overall majority of ABWs. So the wholeflation is the highest in the ABW community.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would say the wholeflation issue is, and the personality, the ratchet personality, that hits first before the overweight does. So, I mean, I don't know how it's tolerated. I don't know how guys do it. I'm like, how desperate are you that you're willing to smash this? I mean, come on. But it's because they get the smashing that they get the validation. That's a problem. So I definitely agree with you. a lot of these women, if they would just be kind and sweet, a lot of guys would actually accept them for even with their weight. And even though I think it's sad, but that's actually true. So, oh well. I mean, I'm just like, ladies, can't you just be nice? Can't you be agreeable? No,
I
nothing.
actually want to touch on what you talked about because you're absolutely 100% right about the fact that smashing these women gives them validation, right? I've seen it with my own family members, right? Some of my family members are flat out obese, but they would have standards. And I'm like looking at them, I'm like, okay, you know what you look like naked. I don't know what you look like. I've never seen you naked, but you know what you look like when you don't have any clothes. And I'm sure it's not a pretty sight. You're talking about you won't date bald men, this, that, etc. And I'm like, you would be lucky if any good man would actually take you seriously the way you look. But the thing is, these women are able to get men, right, that smash them. And they equate that as, okay, that's a man I can keep. Now, they're never able to keep these men. They never realize this until essentially their eggs dry up, right? But at the time, they're thinking, okay, no, that man just got away. The next man, I might be, if I just act a different way, maybe he'll stay. And it's like, no, all these men are, because men can literally smash and be disgusted right after. I'm sure we've all done this, right? I know I've been there where I've smashed and I'm like, God, dang, right after I was done, right? Men can do that. And women don't understand. It's like, okay, a lot of these men that are with you, especially if you're obese, they are disgusted with themselves after they're done with the deed, but they're just so horny that they do it. And that's the way they equate themselves. I mean, one of my sisters, she's like I said, she's flat out obese. She was telling me about she was with a man with a six pack, and I'm like, okay, if you're messing with these men, then your worldview of what you think is attainable, like what's possibly attainable for you, it's going to be skewed. Like so far, you're never going to find a man because a man that's actually your match, right? You're going to look at him so low, and by the time you're willing to actually settle for your looks match, right, it's too late. So that's the problem is that, yeah, a lot of these women, they get smashed. Essentially, you'll be a 4 and you'll get smashed by a 9 and they'll think that's their level. Because when I was younger, look, I'm not that old, but I'm old enough to remember this. When I was younger, we used to have jokes about this. You say, like, what's, the good thing about a fat girl? She's nice. And the reason why she was nice because she had to be nice because she didn't have the looks. Now you don't see that anymore. You literally have fat girls trying to act like they're baddies. It's hilarious.
Yep. That's part of inflation. Correct.
Yeah, that's why you got to use a passport. This really is the only solution. And you got to go someplace else and reestablish yourself and then use the America as for what it is, a corporation. That's it. I don't know what their future is going to be, but I kind of can't touch it anymore. You got to be like, hey, you'll figure out you, I'm sure. I'm sure the military will be just fine. Nobody's going to invade the country. You figure it out. I'm going to be over in Colombia. I'm gonna be in Japan.
Hold that thought there. Sorry, bro. So, brothers, I'm gonna stay on for another 5-7 minutes. So, brothers, you call in if you want to chime in on this discussion. It is 4:30 a.m. over here. Need to wrap up very soon. But carry on, JM.
I was gonna say that's why there's such a visceral anger response with them, because every other point of the cycle, right, where we've been noticing that essentially we're being treated like absolute crap by our counterparts, right? They've had a part in the negotiating table, right? So when we've been noticing they were saying, hey, you should act like this, right? When the men's rights movement, the Red Pill, etc., we've been noticing the RP. Sorry, I didn't know that was one of the coded words. But the RP, right? We've been noticing this. We've been putting it out there, and of course, it's been getting hate. But at least they had some sort of negotiation. They had some pull, right? It wasn't until you had the I'll call it the herbivore movement because that's what it's like in Japan. But the counterpart that it is here, right? And then you have the passport bro movement, right, where you're seeing this visceral anger response because essentially they don't have negotiating power, right? We're saying no, we're done with you. We're not saying, hey, can you do this, that, whatever. Essentially, it's like they want to operate on a curve. They want to make it so that it's so low, and then they're like, okay, well, fine. You know what? I'll at least act feminine. I'm still gonna have a body count over 50, but I'm gonna act feminine, so that could be enough for me to be wiped. And it's like, no, we're not dealing with you anymore. And that's why you're seeing this visceral reaction. That's why you're saying that they're the passport bros are losers, etc. But they can't say it anymore because you have people like and I don't want to say their names, but you know what I'm talking about. You have people who are clearly, if you look at them, you know they can get women in the U.S., right? My problem wasn't getting women in the U.S., right? I'm loud and clear. I say it all the time. No one's going to say, oh, this guy can't get women, right? And they clearly can't say that anymore. They try to make it so that it's like, okay, it's only the losers that are leaving. But it's like now they're seeing men that would be valued here, right, leaving. And it bugs them to no end because they know, okay, essentially their plan B, right, their options of after they're done being on the carousel are leaving for greener pastures, and they have absolutely no control over that. They have no negotiating power in that regard.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but just when passport bros go abroad, are successful, show family, it shows the simps back in the West what the path really should be. So it removes the narrative away from these Western women and back towards the man and family, in particularly family. The Western woman wants the like endless attention and adoration to be the narrative, all the energy towards her. And she just constantly, it's like a drug to her. There is no building with it. It's just consumption. Whereas if the man comes around and makes a family, there's actually a building, there's structure. And she can't be put into that environment. So she can't be put into that narrative. She doesn't fit. So yeah, bitter. Of course, 100%. I don't care there anymore. I really don't care. I didn't care before, but now I really don't care. I don't even listen to it. I get into a point now. Sometimes I go in there and ridicule them, but now I don't even do that because I know the energy should be put towards building passport bros and our experiences. We do that more, we're on the right path.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, you got a last point there, JM?
Yeah, I do. I know I tend to go on. Right. The last point I wanted to say was that this is why the passport movement is a final solution, right? It's even more powerful than the herbivore movement, because with the herbivore movement, right, there was always this saying, right, your one delightful experience from a female from going back into, right, that the plantation, right? However, with the passport movement, once you see how life is actually supposed to be, right, there's no going back. It's like being RP for the first time. There's no going back. You're not going to go back to being BP. You're not going to do that, right? So when they see that, when men actually experience this, and that's why they're trying so hard to push men not to do this, because when they actually experience it, this happened to me. I traveled the first time this year, right? When they experience this, there's absolutely no going back. They're losing their collection of simps, right, of people that they can take advantage of, and it's dwindling. And then they're actually going to have to be saddled with their bad options for the bad decisions that they made. That's why the passport movement is even more powerful than the herbivore movement, because it literally makes it so that the collection of simps, right, are dwindling and they're never coming back. That's all I have to say. Anyway, great stream.
Well, the issue, again, I know herbivore movement really well because I was in Japan. I saw it with my own eyes. It's still there. So those guys, they're recluses. They're not a part of society. They're not reproducing. They're not talking to people. So it's a dead end, right? So it's still the Western woman in that case, in this case, the Japanese woman, she doesn't have an option, but at least she can exalt herself. Whereas the passport bro movement, no, man, the Western woman is removed. She's eliminated. So in this case, because we are able to reproduce, the Western woman really can't in a healthy family, such a single mother, we have a narrative that's by far superior. So that's why I say, guys, you gotta use your passports. It's the only solution. It's the final solution. I agree with that. It is the final solution. Let's do it.
Yes, indeed. All right, JM, thank you, brother. Please drop off, bro. We're going to wrap it up now. No new callers. Much appreciated, JM. Awesome. All right, so okay, so we're almost at 2 hours 30 minutes. Okay, we're going to wind it down to 2 hours 30 minutes if possible. So we'll wait for a new caller to chime in and give a different perspective. So if you want to speak on Johnny, what's his name? Johnny Somali, Candace Owens, now's the time. I'm going to give you a minute or two while me and Theo wind it down. So Theo, another great show, brother. The dudes in the live stream chat really engaged. I love what we're speaking about. Awesome. So Theo, do you have... Go on, bro.
Yeah, I think it was good. I think it was good. A lot of conversation. I gotta get my audio issues worked out again. But yeah, I think that was pretty good. But I think it's coming back again towards conservative values and the men showing up, making sure the money is right, making sure they're the best version of themselves, but then establishing structure in the society by making families and moving forward. And there are wonderful women out there who are ready to work with you guys and to rock with you and make those kids, and you can become the father that you've always wanted to be. So why deny yourself it? Go for it, guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so brothers, this has been a great live stream. Once again, you can support outside of the stream by hitting the PayPal. Any donations would be greatly appreciated. It means a lot to me. Join the Patreon for more behind the scenes intel. The Patreon is amazing. And shout out to our new cohorts on Field's AWS class and my Python class. Looking forward to teaching you brothers every week, and I'm sure Field is as well. Okay, so cop the merch. All right, book your IT consultations. I'm working with a lot of people, help get them into IT. Doing a lot of CV help, a lot of CV stuff I'm doing with brothers right now, and it's successful. Brothers are getting interviews now with me, restructuring their CV. So me and Phil, we're doing great work here. Okay, so please make sure you tune in on the next live stream. Look out for upcoming video uploads this week. Okay. Thank you once again, Phil. You want to say any closing statements there, bro?
Look, I had a great time talking to you. Again, as long as the focus is family, guys, as long as focus is on yourself, become the best version of yourself, not being used at all. If you're focused and you know what you want in life, the West isn't for you. So you need to get out of the matrix, use that passport, go find somebody else. You'll be amazed at how good it is abroad. Guys, go for it. Hoflation is a real issue. And there'll be some women others that say there's still a few good ones. The only reason they're saying that is because they don't want your resources to go abroad. That's it. They want your resources to stay accessible to them, to prop them up, and continue financing their chaos and drama. You got to get out of that circle, guys. Don't even entertain it. Not at all. Good talking to you, IP, again. Had a great stream. And guys, keep on studying. Keep on doing Python. Keep on doing AWS Cloud. We have a long year ahead. We got a lot of guys we need to get above 6 figures. Let's make it happen. And let's save some more brothers, all right?
Absolutely. Thank you, Phil. Much appreciated, bro. Salute. Thank you, bro. Jamata. Thank you. All right, so brothers, another classic live stream. Shout out to Mr. JAM for the PayPal donation. Salute you, brother, and calling in and chiming in. Shout out to all the brothers that hit the super chat as well. The super chats are greatly appreciated. Amazing live stream. Keep watching the content. Keep being involved. Keep supporting. And okay, I will see you brothers on the next show and on the next video upload or live stream. Okay, I got 2 special countries coming this week. You don't want to miss it. Okay, you don't want to miss it. I have a new country that I've never touched upon. Okay, and there's another one coming. Okay, there's another one coming that you're gonna like a lot. Okay, and there's Patreon content for both of them. You brothers are being very spoiled. Okay, you're being very spoiled. Okay, I'm spoiling you brothers with a lot of content, valuable content. And then the new country we're going to touch upon this week is going to shock you. The Patreon will shock you even further. Patreon will shock you even further. Okay, awesome. So, brothers, thank you very much. Okay, and have a great week ahead. Okay, peace out, brothers. Shout out to you, Phil. Much appreciated, bro. Where's everyone listening in from? What country, what city, what state? Before I end the live stream. We got UK, Florida, Orlando, Brooklyn, NYC. Incredible. Chicago. Shout out to Chicago. Florida, USA, aka by City Nightmare like GTA. I ain't play GTA in a minute. Oh my goodness. I also haven't played Call of Duty in a minute, bruv. I got no time for video games. Arizona, awesome. Anyone in Europe, anyone in Australia, anyone in New Zealand, anyone? Oh, brothers, I've got some very exciting countries coming in the coming weeks. October is going to be, Theo says, periodic. Peridia. Man, shout out to Theo, UK, Birmingham. I've got some very interesting countries coming in the coming weeks. October is going to be a crazy month. This week is going to be a crazy week. It's going to be a surprise, Aussie. It's going to be a surprise. Okay. I know all you brothers love surprises. And the Patreon, I'm going to continue spoiling you brothers on the Patreon. I recorded 2 Patreon contents last week, and it was shocking, bruv. It was shocking. Oh my goodness, bruv. Let me tell you, right? These 2 countries, one of them, you can expect it in one of that country. But the other country, which is supposedly a Muslim country, it really gets down there, brothers. It really gets down there. Now, that kind of information you will never find anywhere, right, apart from the Patreon. Right? This is why I'm saying you brothers are being very spoiled, right? And you are being set up for success. Because in that Patreon content for that particular Muslim country, we broke down where to find a wife, where to, navigate the HOESs, how freaky they are in the bedroom, how the culture is, how much they love brothers. So if you're into that kind of woman from that country, then yes, you want to go there. Brothers, you are very lucky. You are very lucky, man. Shout out to Mr. Yu-Gi-Oh! Master for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you, bro. Hey, IP, still in the US, hoping to go to Asia one day. I hope you make your dream come true, bro. Hopefully that happens for you, brother. Much appreciated, bro. Awesome. 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 All right. So, okay. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you, brothers, very soon. Peace out, brothers. Thank you very much.